It's finished Hartlepool United 3, Altrincham 2 up in the northeast on Tuesday evening. We're talking to Altrincham manager Phil Parkinson. Phil, difficult to fathom having completely dominated the first half and fully deserved the lead to be 2-1 down after 53 minutes.
Yep. Really difficult one to take. First half, as dominant as we've been for a period of games. I think we've had a few matches like that. The changes we wanted to freshen it up. We wanted to give lads opportunities, and they took it in the first half. And we did warn them with Honorisi coming on that they could go to a 3-5-2 because they got three centre backs on. They were going to have to change it. We've played against that shape so many times, but it's like we just couldn't change our mindset to how to defend against it. And a little bit of momentum that they had for a short period allowed them to get back into the game and then take the lead. I wish I would have changed shape a little bit earlier. Maybe that stems the flow then, but it was so quick. It was near on impossible to get the subs ready to get them on. And then we changed the shape, and then you steady it a little bit. But we shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to go and match up because we've not done that in the past. But you can feel a game changing, and hey, that's my job, rightly or wrongly. If I get it right or I get it wrong, I've got to stand by the decision. So whether I've got that right or wrong, but ultimately we did get another goal, and that should have been 2-2 there because they've had three chances that I can remember and scored three with a penalty. We've not had loads, but we scored one in the second half. Dior goes through. Can he finish that one in the first half in terms of when you're on top and you're very dominant? And Dan Mooney early on in the second half, maybe that changes things, but ultimately we haven't took them chances, and that's what we've been doing in the past. So we have been finishing teams off when we've been on top, but ultimately the period they had, I know it will have felt longer to everyone else because we're not able to get a foothold back in the game for a period, but we're so dominant in the first half. Second half, they've had a period of probably 15 minutes where they've scored. They've took the lead, and then it's a bit scrappy, and then we're trying to find ourselves in the game, and then we do revert back to our normal shape when we find a little bit of flow, and ultimately we get a goal. So the shape changes. It almost worked, but the personnel, obviously I wouldn't want Eddie Jones on the wing. I'd want a newbie on there or a Justin Amaluza, but it was what it was at that moment in the time. I had to bring the extra defender on because it looked like we could have got thumped out the park in about 15 minutes. But yeah, really, really disappointing. Frustrating. Hey, I see the fans there. They're angry, I understand, and great support as well. All we can do is apologise for the travel that they've done, but ultimately these are the highs and lows of supporting a football team. They've been great for us, and I'm just desperately disappointed that we couldn't have got the result that they wanted there, but we can't start a second half like that again.
On Saturday, two goals in 4 minutes have done us. Tonight, the same thing, but completely different circumstances. All the credit to Aldershot on Saturday. Tonight, a lot of it was down to our own doing.
Yeah, masters of our own downfall. And we all know that, and we know we're better than that. But ultimately, it's a young group, and I've not had to reel out the excuses, have I, in terms of why we're doing or performing like that at certain times. But these are the lessons they've got to learn, and learn quick. When the pressure's on, you're away at Hartlepool, you've got to react, you've got to be more resilient. And you know what, they have been all season, but we're having a little period in time where things just aren't quite going for us in terms of every shot's going in. I've been at this football club 7 seasons. I've had periods like this. I know what I'm looking at. The performance was there in the first half, which was a great reaction to the Aldershot game. But we are coming away to Hartlepool. I think everyone just needs to remember that as well. As angry as we are, as frustrated as we are, this is an ex-league team last season. So we're massively disappointed that they've had a period of time where they've punished us badly. And we couldn't be dominant Altrincham, which we've been pretty much all season. But in the first half we were. But people won't remember that. They'll remember the start of the second half. They'll remember the fact that we've give 3 goals away, and they'll forget the fact Dior's got the second one. And if we would have just kept them a little bit quieter, we'd come away with a draw another day. So, listen, full credit to Hartlepool. They had that bit of momentum. Their fans are great as well, aren't they? Got right behind them like our fans. Probably give them that extra lift because they did have a little bit more of a spring in the step when they got the goals. But ultimately, we did get back into it, but you give yourself a mountain to climb. You can't concede 3 goals away from home and expect to come out with any kind of result. So listen, we'll go through it Thursday. There'll be some uncomfortable conversations because there's a number of things that I wasn't happy with. I'm not defending anybody here. And the only way we get better is by learning from it. I've said it so many times, there's no losses, there's just learning. And again, I've said it so many times, I know exactly what I'm looking at, I know where we're up to. I want it to be a smooth run into the back end of the season, but it's not going to be that way, is it? Where have we finished 17th, 14th and 17th in this division? Now we've been in the playoffs in September. Everybody's talking about promotions. This is a reality check. Maybe we're not there yet. We're lacking that consistency. We're lacking that ability, that resilience to switch under not a load of pressure, a bit of pressure for a small period of time. And we've got to come out the other end of it, and it's got to start on Saturday against Maidenhead.
And that's the third time this season now where we've lost 2 games on the bounce. So there is a bit of a pattern developing here. But again, that's something that we're not unused to, because whilst you've been here in the 7 seasons, we've had really good runs and then we've had some difficult runs. And we've got a real opportunity to bounce back now against Maidenhead on Saturday, although that is one of the 5 games from Aldershot at home.
Yeah, I think we've got to take almost maximum points from our home games moving into the back end of the season, and we've got to pick up at least 3 wins on the road for me, maybe more. But ultimately, we're still. There's a lot of football to be played. If people are going to start losing the faith now, sticking the knife in, it's not the football club I know. Don't get carried away with the success that the teams give us this season. Remember the success, remember all them good times. I've said it again so many times, these are the times where we need the fans, and they've been great tonight. So rather than picking up the laptop or the phone and sticking the boot in, just think about the players' state of mind going into the weekend. Hey, I'll take all the negatives. As I said, I'll stand up and be counted, because a lot of that's on me. I pick the team, I make the changes, but ultimately the changes we made were very dominant in the first half, and then again a small period of times really hurt us. But we've got to be better, and it's not acceptable, and we've got to learn from it. And if we want to make the playoffs, we can't be seeing too many more of them where we're conceding goals in quick succession.
And let's be clear, a lot of people will be surprised by the team that was put out there tonight. It was nothing to do with the personnel.
No, it was. I wanted to freshen things up, and like you said, that the personnel was superb in the first half, and then obviously they've got a lot of momentum. And as I have to do, I've got to make the changes that I see that needs to happen. And if I've got that wrong, I'll hold my hands up and apologise. Ultimately, they scored 2 before I was able to make the changes because it was that quick. And then the penalty's the penalty. That's a bit of indecision from the players, but ultimately we get back in the game at 3-2, but it's too late, and it shouldn't have been we shouldn't be giving away the penalty. We shouldn't be giving away 2 goals that quickly together. We've always got goals in us. We get one at the end. So if we don't concede when we do, it's a different story. But that's the same old story every time you lose or you draw, isn't it? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. We didn't get it right tonight, and we'll have to take a medicine again, and we'll have to learn from it very quickly.